Back.
So we're live. Hi everyone. Hi Tare. Good
Hi,
evening.
once again.
How are you today?
Thanks. I'm good. I'm all right. It's the weather is quite chilly, so I really like
I know,
I
right?
really like yeah.
All right.
How
So
are you?
thank you everyone for joining our session today. Like we started 2 weeks ago, we started talking about career and different kinds of careers and how you can succeed in them. So basically, like this channel is to help you succeed. Pretty much that. And today we have somebody who's going to be talking to us about the finance career. So for those of you who are looking to go into finance, you're not sure what to do, how to go about it, we have someone here who is going to be guiding you. Just like we had someone from HR space last time who talked to us about how we can succeed in an interview. So we have Tare in the building. Tare, welcome to our YouTube channel. All right, it's such an honor to have you here. So today, like I said, we're going to be talking about charting your path to career success in finance. So we don't want people to just get jobs and the regular you wake up in the morning, you go to work and come back. We believe that when there's a sense of purpose in wanting to achieve that guide. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. I can hear you now
Sorry,
clearly.
the network. Network will always be network.
That's fine.
Technology will always be technology. All
I
right. So
understand.
I was just trying to say that for everybody who is trying to go into a career, it's essential for us to have like a target, what we're trying to achieve, what height we want to get into that career, so that it's not just a case of you wake up in the morning, you pick up your bag, you go to work and come back and that's it. When you have a clear goal, when you have something you think you can achieve in that career, you know the right steps to take, you know the right things to do and all that. So for this session today, we're basically just going to help those who are looking to build a career in finance on what they should do if they really want to excel, so that they're able to stand out amongst every other person who is into finance, and they're able to succeed basically. So once again, I want to say thank you for coming to share your experience with us. You were carefully selected for this topic. Thank you.
Thanks for carefully selecting me.
All right. So, as a way to start, let's just get to know you a little bit more. Tell us about your career, your career overview. Just let's have a glean into what your career had been like for you.
All right. So first of all, thank you once again for this opportunity to speak.
Thank
Um,
you.
My name is Owen Tare Johnson, or you can call me Tare Johnson. I currently have over 5 years of experience in finance and accounting.
Okay.
Right now, I am a financial planning and analysis analyst in a fully
Okay.
globally distributed company called Oyster. So
Okay.
a brief history on my career path and how I started. I started in
Yeah.
Jumia a couple of years ago, and I
Yeah.
was mainly in finance operations. I handled
Okay.
day-to-day reconciliation, day-to-day
Yeah.
analysis. I tracked payments and all those little finance tasks. At that point,
Yes.
I didn't really think I was going to major in finance because I was
Okay.
in between finance and accounting.
Okay.
But a couple of years later, I realized that I have this love for analysis. I love to
Okay.
visualize. So in that process, I got to delve in Excel. I learned how to use
Okay.
Excel and I was able to work with lots of people that really helped me to want to do more in my finance career. Finance for me would be problem solving, would be
Okay.
having that strategic mind to want to work together with people in order to solve something that the business is trying to accomplish. So I would say
Okay.
my career is really, really fruitful. I've been able
Okay.
to work alongside people from various departments, and that's one thing I love about finance. You get to collaborate with people from different departments: marketing, customer experience, data
Yes.
analysis, engineering,
Yeah.
and even aerospace. So my in my career so far has been filled with learning. It has been filled with
Okay.
growth, and
Yeah.
currently I'm involved. I'm really really involved in budgeting, forecasting, and
Yeah.
building financial models. So that's what my
Okay.
current role really really entails on a day-to-day
Entails.
basis. Yes.
Okay.
So thank you so much. That's me in a brief summary. That's me.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much. I mean, you've had quite an interesting career. If you say 5 years and then you've done all of those things, I think you've done well. All
I'm
right.
trying. I'm
So,
trying.
yeah, you're trying. I know when you're humble. Okay. So for someone like me who is not into that space, I wouldn't know if there is a difference between accounting and finance. So let's assume that there are many more other people like me out there. What's the difference between accounting and finance?
Well, it can be simple at first. So I'll give you a basic explanation of the differences.
Okay.
Accounting accounting is like focusing on now. So let's
Okay.
say I am a bus driver, and what I'm thinking about right now is how to make sure my bus is fit enough to start and I have enough
Yes.
passengers to fill my bus. That's my
Mm,
current thinking, and that's like accounting. Accounting is more short term. It's all about trying to make sure that you have your reports now and you have all your outputs right now for the short term what is called for short term reporting. So
yes.
a typical responsibility of an accountant would be month-end closing, month-end financial closing, when you have to
Yeah.
provide the finished financials at the end of the month. It's basically providing reports for the current point in time. Now, the
Yeah.
difference from accounting and finance is that in finance, so going back to the bus driver analogy, I'm the bus driver.
Yeah.
I'm not just thinking of putting the passengers into the bus and making sure the bus is in good condition to start. I'm also thinking
Yes.
about the likelihood of what I'll be doing in on the journey. So on the
Yes.
journey, I might face potholes, I might face bad road, bad weather, and stuff like that. So finance is more forward looking. You always think
Okay.
of the future. You always want. That's where we get the word forecasting. So you always want to try
Yes.
and predict what likely happen in the future. But the beauty of it is that accounting and finance work hand in hand. Accounting
Yes.
provides the actual results of a business, and finance takes that actual results and try to predict where the business might likely end up in few months' time or few years' time.
Okay, very explanatory. Thank you so much, Tare. It's going to be an interesting session, definitely. I can see that already. All right. So, are we saying that accounting is gradually drifting to finance? Because I barely hear people say now that I want to go into accounting. I want to go into accounting. It's finance we hear now. So is accounting gradually drifting to finance so that somebody who is trying to come into this space knows that okay, if this is if this is what it is, if there's already a drift, then I should position myself ahead. But if there's no drift and there's a clear difference, and some people should just stay in accounting, then let me know what it takes for me to stay in accounting or if I should go to the future.
I think that's a very good question. That's a very good question. And like I said initially, finance and accounting work hand in hand.
Yeah.
The accountants the accountants are involved in making sure that daily transactions are booked accurately in the right
Yes.
journal journal, I'm sorry, GL accounts or general
Yeah.
ledger accounts that are not accountants, general ledger
Yeah.
accounts, and also make sure that there is a daily or monthly bank reconciliation. So there are a lot of processes that accountants are involved in that is very, very beneficial to what the financial analysts end up doing. So I wouldn't necessarily say accounting is dying down or winding up or that finance is overtaking accounting. I would just say both roles have different parts to play. And if you decide to go for accounting, you just need to understand what it entails to be an accountant, a good accountant. And for a finance professional, you have to know the things that you need to do. Because, like I said, these roles are very, very, very vast and they are very, very
Yeah.
complex. Finance have financial professionals or finance professionals rather have different roles that
Yeah.
make up whole finance department. You might have someone that is just focused on budgeting. You might have someone that is focused on finance operations. You might have someone that is
Okay.
focused on forecast, and you might have someone that is just
Okay.
focused on financial modeling. So it now depends on what you really want to focus on as an accountant or as a finance professional.
All right. Thank you, Tara. So I have one question again around the same accounting and finance before we focus finally on finance.
Okay.
Um, I'm a complete novice, and then
Okay.
I'm confused if I should go for accounting or if I should go for finance. Now,
Okay.
you want to tell me if you want to go for accounting, this is how you know that accounting is what you should do. And this is how you know that finance is what you should do. How would you tell me?
Okay. So first of all, you need to know yourself. You need to know
Okay.
what really drives you, what excites you. For if you are someone that loves processes, you love when things are placed in a certain order. You know that
Yeah.
you have this guideline, you love guidelines and you don't like to break rules, then
Yeah.
accounting is good for you. I would advise you to go for accounting. But if you are
Okay.
someone that likes to change the status quo, if you are someone that is always
Yeah.
inquisitive, you always want to know why this works, and you are always open to change. You are always willing to embrace change. Then you are most
Yeah.
likely going to drift towards finance. And the good thing for
Okay.
me is that I've been in two sides of the coin. I've had the
Yeah.
opportunity to work as an accounts receivable associate while I was in Jumia, and
Yeah.
I've worked in finance in Wakana and in Oyster, where I
Yeah.
currently am.
Yeah.
And I would say I've always been driven towards trying to build things and trying to make sure that I'm
Yeah.
consistent changing processes. I'm consistently changing processes. Accounting is quite different. Accounting, you always have a similar process and you always have to follow those rules or those guidelines to make sure that everything that you do is done in a similar pattern. I know some accountants will be angry at me and say, no, most accountants will tell you that accounting is boring because they always have to do the same thing over
Yeah.
and over and again. Like there is no, there
Over
is
and over
no, there's
again.
really no, yeah, there's really no variety.
It's stereotypes. Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
Thank you so much. So before we continue the session, if you're watching this video and you've not subscribed to this channel, you're not doing well. Subscribe to the
yes.
channel so that you get notified when we upload more videos. When we upload more videos, thank you. And of course, do not forget to like this video. If nothing, I and Tara tried. We suffered before we entered this live streaming. So please, thumbs up. All right. So the next question I want to ask is, so Tara, tell us what steps have you taken in developing your skills in finance?
The first one that I always go back to and reminisce is Excel. So I remember when I
Okay.
started, I didn't know a single a single function or a single formula in Excel. And like
Wow.
looking back to where I am now, the
Mm.
growth for me is has been really, really huge because I've been able to. In fact, there was a point in time I thought Excel was just used to view spreadsheets. That was
Yeah.
how bad it was.
Mm.
But now I've had the opportunity to really educate people. I think right now it's been over 50 people that I've been able to educate on how to use Microsoft Excel, how to use data visualization tools like Power BI,
Yeah.
Tableau, and
Yeah.
Google
Yeah.
Data. Yeah, so
Yeah.
I would say I was able to build myself, or the things that helped me to build myself in finance was one, Excel, number one. Number two,
Yeah.
I've always been analytical in terms of I've always wanted to transform data. And this
Yeah.
started even when I was still working in Jumia, my first real finance role. I remember when I would have a transaction list, and I would always want to find ways to summarize the entire list of transactions to make it more
Mm.
comprehensive for review.
Mm.
So I would say Excel, having that
Yeah.
analytical mindset, and also
Mm.
learning online. I really, really use YouTube a lot to learn
Yeah.
to learn new formulas in Excel, or if I'm trying
Yeah.
to find out something and I don't know what to do, I'll just go on YouTube and just type how to do this or how to get this,
Mm.
and I'll see different ways
Yeah.
that people have been able to what I want to achieve. So learning has really, really helped me over the past couple of years, and I'm still learning, and that's the beauty of it. You keep learning and you
Absolutely.
keep growing. So yes, Excel is
Yeah.
one. Data visualization tools is
Like
number
it's your
two.
mindset. Yeah.
Yes, political mindset is number three. And one other thing is having the right set of people around you. Since I've
Mm.
been in finance, I've been able to meet people, connect with people. I've joined groups where there are a lot of like-minded people in finance, in accounting, in basically career growth, and trying to make sure you create this
Yeah.
path to success. And those people around me have been able to fuel my passion, have been able to inspire me to actually want more. And I think it's very, very important. The kind of people that you keep around can also make or break
Yeah.
the kind of person you need to be in the long run. So that's one other thing that
Yeah.
has really helped me in my finance career.
Thank you. Thank you. I think it's important at this point to mention. I always, especially when I have your phone is your biggest money making machine. I mean, what I mean by that is
Yes.
whatever skill you can use to make money tomorrow, you have it right in your palm, and which is your phone. So
Yeah.
rather than spend so much time on the phone watching every other person, you can also get watched. I mean, you can get watched. When I say you can get watched, I mean you can build skills that would put you out there tomorrow to be watched. We spend time, we
Very
watch comedy videos. You realize that you spent like the next 2 hours watching comedy videos and you are laughing. And those guys are making their
yeah.
money. Nobody says you
Yeah.
shouldn't watch comedy videos. Nobody says you shouldn't laugh. I mean, life is not that serious. But at the same time, there's nothing that says you can't split your time to use a part of your
Yeah.
time to learn and use a part of your time to just relax and entertain yourself. So here again, it is we calling you out. If that's the only thing you do with your phone, TikTok, Instagram, you're not helping yourself. I know somebody who is very, very good today in graphics design. Like when I say good, I mean really, really good. And he learned it from the scratch from YouTube. And today
Okay.
is earning so much money from it. He didn't have to pay anybody to learn it. He had, I mean, YouTube is
Yeah.
there. The same data you would exhaust for a month, the same data you would use if you're watching these things. All right, so that's
Very
me
true.
just emphasizing what Tare had said. Yeah, so thank you so much, Tare. Another thing I want to share is can you share with us some strategies or approaches you employ to identify and seize opportunities for growth?
Yeah, yes, yes. Another very good question. Um, I would say it's always very good to, first of all, the number one strategy is to identify what you want to achieve. So ask yourself, when people, funny thing is, when I used to to interviews and they ask me, where do you see yourself in 5 years? I always found it difficult to answer that question because at that point in time, I wasn't really visualizing where I want to be in that long time frame. I was always visualizing, oh, where do I want to be by next month? Where do I want to be by next 2 months? So I think it's very
Yeah,
important. First of all, sit down, document if that will help you to always remember. Document
yeah,
where you want to in, let's say, 5 years time, 3 years, 2 years, depending on how far you want to think. And
yes,
then you ask yourself, what do I need to do to get to this place that I said I want to get to? So, for example, I would say next 5 years, I want to own my own finance firm, and I want to be
okay,
able to I want to be able to encourage, I want to be able to educate young finance professionals on how they can build their careers in finance. I need to be able to lay a, a strong roadmap or a clear roadmap on how I want to achieve those things. So, number one, plan
yeah,
your strategy, make sure you know where you want to
yeah,
be, and make sure you know what you want to achieve in
yeah,
that given time. Number two, I would say LinkedIn has been really, really helpful for me. LinkedIn is a that by the time I
yeah,
joined LinkedIn, I realized that I wasn't I didn't need Instagram anymore. Like my Instagram is now still because
yeah,
because I found out that personally I wasn't really getting as much productivity from Instagram as much as LinkedIn.
LinkedIn,
So I shifted it
yes,
LinkedIn up because I was able to learn more. I was able to meet more like-minded people. I was able to also see people that have grown in their careers that would inspire me to be where they are or to be better than where I am. So I would say
yeah,
LinkedIn is very, very important. And LinkedIn also moves to or shifts to networking. If you have a LinkedIn account and it's not active and you are not active, I'm not saying just go on LinkedIn and start posting things. That is not what I'm saying.
yeah,
I'm saying go on LinkedIn, try to create connections, try to make sure you meet people that inspire you. Try to
yeah,
ask people questions, DMs, tell people how you're inspired by what they do. And if possible, you can schedule calls. Ask them if they have time to schedule calls. If you have questions, you can ask them how they were able to grow in their careers. So that's number two strategy. And number three strategy would be try to build your career in terms of getting certifications as much as possible. um, it's not everyone might not have the financial capacity to get the big certifications, but we can all, or I think people can go online. You can search for cheap, not let me not say cheap, affordable finance
affordable,
certification
yeah,
finance
yeah,
certifications where you'll be able to learn the fundamentals of finance, where you'll be able to build your skills in Excel, where you'll be able to build your skills in Power BI, where you'll be able to write SQL codes and write different formulas and functions, and you'll be able to really sell yourself because the beauty of these things is that whatever you learn stays with you. It's an investment in yourself.
yeah,
If you really
yes,
want to build yourself, you really need to learn. You really need to get certified in different forms. If you can afford CFA, you can get CFA. If you want to do CFI, so CFA is more expensive. CFI is, and you can always Google all these things. Just type CFA on Google and you'll see what I'm talking about. You can also get CFI. It's quite
yeah,
cheaper than CFA, or rather, it's more affordable than CFA. And if you want to get CFA, you can also get and be better in the long run. So these these three things are key to me in strategizing your path in career success as a whole.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Tari. I think I like how you ended it by saying career success as a whole. So, which means even when a non-finance person watches this video, this person understands that these steps can also be replicated in their careers, and then they can get the same results. So, thank you.
Yes.
The next question I'm going to ask is, all through your career, have there been challenges? What are the possible challenges for somebody who is trying to grow in finance?
Yes, yes.
And of course, how did
So
you overcome them? Very important.
okay, so I think my biggest challenge over my career was in 2020, where I left I left where I was to join a company. I wouldn't want to mention any names. So I left where I was to join a company for a much more bigger pay. And on joining the company, after a couple of months, after about 4 or 5 months, I realized that I wasn't really getting that fulfillment in the role. It was a finance role, but there was no fulfillment in the role because I wasn't really growing. There was there was no career growth. There was no
Yeah.
personal growth, and it was almost like I was burning out. When people talk about burnout, these things actually
Mm.
exist.
They
So
do. Yeah.
at that point in time, I had to sit back and I asked myself what I really wanted. The next step I took was I decided to quit the job without even having any other thing else. And this was 2020. So for about eight
Yeah.
months, I was I was out of the job. I was
Mm.
basically out of the job for 8 months. And during that time, I made sure I didn't stop learning. I made sure I didn't stop being positive. Because it was quite challenging because it got to a point where I felt I felt like I wasn't good enough and I felt like there was something I was doing wrong. But luckily for me, I was able to overcome the challenge through encouragement from friends, family, and now I am here. When I look back, I would say that that has been my most challenging experience so far in my career. Some people right now are in similar situation. They are in a role where they are not
Yeah.
fulfilled or they are not happy where they are and they just want to leave. Or some people are
Yeah.
left and they're looking for something else. What I would say is continue being positive and continue learning, continue believing
Yeah.
yourself. Don't just think that you can't get better because I can assure you that even if you are going through a tough time, you can always overcome it. And the funny thing is, when you eventually overcome it, you will remember what you went through, and you'll be happy that you went through what you went through because it will even make you more humble and to make you appreciate where you currently
Yeah.
are. So that's for me. That's been my most challenging. Another thing would be um, the the difficulty of working with people. So sometimes you might be in a place where
Oh,
you just have people around you that are not really encouraging and they
okay.
make working very difficult. So I would say you just have to have
Yeah.
good interpersonal skills. You just have to always be polite and you just have to learn to overcome those situations and learn to always be diplomatic in some situations. So yes, thank you so much for that question. It makes me remember
Yeah.
times in 2020.
Thank you for memory lane. All right. Thank you for your answer as well. All right. So, the next question I want to ask is: are there specific resources that you would recommend for somebody who is trying to start out in finance
um, that's
or
tricky.
professional
Resources,
development activities?
yep. I would say so. For me, because when I started, I didn't really have the financial capability to pay for some classes or some premium lessons and stuff like that. So my number one resource, even till now, and it's free, it's easy, just with your internet you can access. My number one resource has always been YouTube, and it would always be YouTube because on YouTube, you basically get anything. It's not limited to a particular thing. You can get anything you want, and it's free. Unlike some other platforms where you might need to
Yeah.
pay for premium services, YouTube for me is my number one resource. It's where I can basically go and get anything I want. So that's number one. Number two would be, and right now I'm trying to talk about things that people can easily access. Number two would be the right people. And in this sense, the
Yeah.
right people are people that you look up to, people that you know are always available when you need them and can always give you advice, career advice in making decisions that pertain to your career. So I would say number one for me, YouTube, very free. It's free. You can go there and you can get anything you want. Number two is people that can help you, can give you advice, can help you to make the right decisions, and can also help you answer some questions. Because most times, these people that we talk to on a daily basis, they've gone through things that we are going through now. So if you meet the right people and you
Yeah.
ask them, you share how you feel, share what you're thinking about, or share where you want to be, they can always help you to make the right decisions. I would say in my career, if I knew all these things when I started and I was asking the right questions to the right people, I
Yeah.
wouldn't made the mistakes I made earlier on in my career.
Yeah.
So these two things are like
Which
those
brings
main resources.
okay. Okay. Which brings us to say it's important to have mentors. You know, the people who till now have not accepted the role of mentorship long career. The idea is that people who you get as mentors, like you said, would have made
Um, I think I lost Magdalene, but I think she'll be back soon. So let's wait for her to join back. While we are waiting, let me see if she's joining.
sorry,
Okay.
I'm so sorry. My network is acting up. It's been giving me that sign like it wanted to lock me out, but then thank God we're back. So I was talking about the role of mentorship, emphasizing the fact that when we have mentors, the mistakes that we would have made, we are able to get people to help us not to make them because they have been in that space, in that position, and they're able to guide us past that mistake. So thank you for mentioning that again. Definitely, it was worth the mention.
Thank you.
For
Thank
especially those who are trying to build career from the beginning, it's important you are able to get a mentor even from the scratch. You don't have to make mistakes before you go and look for mentors. If you have mentors from the beginning, you would have avoided years of mistakes. Some people are able to recover back from the mistakes they make, why some are not able to, which is the reason why we shouldn't even make them at all. We shouldn't.
you.
All right. So the
Yeah.
next question, I would want to ask is, in your opinion, what are the skills that are essential to achieving success in the finance industry? In the industry this time.
Okay. Okay. So number one, I would say, and the thing is, these skills are
Yeah.
relative. So you have some soft skills, you have some um, analytical skills, You need to also
Yeah.
have a couple of other skills. So I would break them down. So in
Okay.
terms of soft skills, you need to like everybody should have this one. You should be good at communicating. You should always be able
Okay.
to pass your message across in a comprehensive way. So that's number one. Number two, you should also have you should be great at writing. Most times you might end up having to write executive summaries,
Okay.
and you need to be able to write really well. So that's number two.
Yeah.
I have a couple of them on my system. Number three would be you should always be willing to learn,
Okay.
and even if you have gained a lot of experience in your career, that's one skill
Yeah.
that most top professionals would always recommend. You should always be willing to learn. Next one would be you should have a problem solving mindset. You're
Okay.
always available to solve problems.
Yeah.
Another one would be you should be flexible, very flexible.
Okay.
Be ready
Okay.
to accept change at every given point in time, and you should also be adaptable
Yeah.
because the world of finance is rapidly changing. You might hear that,
Yeah.
and in companies do this thing that sometimes they might move from a particular software. They might say, we no longer want to use Excel, we want to use something else. Or we no longer want to use
Yes.
Google Sheets. There's a new tool that we just want to integrate and start using. So you should always be
Yeah.
flexible and adaptable to change. So all these things don't hit you and you're like, oh, I only know Excel. What do I do? So those are the soft skills
Mm.
I think in your finance career. The next
Okay.
one would be I cannot get tired of mentioning it. I would say you need to build your skill in Excel. It's very
Mm.
important. And most people that know Excel know why I am reiterating this thing. Because
Yeah.
most finance interviews, when you get tested in the practical test, most times these tests are in Excel. So if you don't know Excel,
Yes.
basically nothing you can do. And
Mm.
most analytical tools or most finance tools have
Mm.
Excel-like structure. So you find out that even
Yeah.
if you're using a different tool that is not Excel, it still has the fundamentals of if you're using Excel. So if you already have the knowledge, you are like a 5/10 or 6/10 in Excel, it gives you that
Yeah.
foundation skill in every other analytical tool. And
Yeah.
another thing is Excel is like the largest, the most popular
Okay.
tool in terms of data and analysis.
Yeah.
So why don't you want to learn the most popular tool in finance? So that's why I always
Yeah.
mention Excel. Then another thing would be you also need to learn how to use some accounting software. Even though finance professionals don't like anything or don't like associating themselves with accounting,
Yeah.
you also need to learn. You need to learn how to navigate around softwares like Microsoft Navision, softwares like Sage, or other accounting tools like Oracle
Yes.
that will help you to get the data you need to analyze. You don't always need to ask the accountants or the accounting professionals to provide the data you want to use. You can always
Mm.
gain that experience or gain that skill to learn how
Yeah.
to navigate these accounting tools. And one other thing would be generally you need to also learn how to collaborate with people. Finance has grown to be more collaborative. And
Yeah.
personally, I basically, in my company, I basically work with all departments and
Yes.
ask me questions about their financials. They ask me questions about their budget versus actuals reports. And I have to give insights on why the numbers look the way they look. If I don't have, if I'm not ready to collaborate with these teams, I can't excel in
Yes.
finance. So it's very
Mm.
important. Every finance professional should be willing to collaborate with everyone in the department.
Departments.
They
Yeah.
should be willing to, they should be willing to support departments when insights are needed or when questions are asked. So I hope these few skills, there might be few,
Yeah.
but I think the major skills, soft skills,
Yes.
analytical skills that you need to have
Yeah.
in yourself in your finance career.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, Tare. So I have just one last question for you. Just one last and the easiest. So for
Okay.
somebody who is wanting to go into finance career, what would be your advice for the person? So this is we wrapping up the session now. So what would you advise a newbie in the career space, in the finance
Okay.
career space? Yeah.
My advice would be um, be open, be open to learn. You never in finance, you never know where you necessarily might end up, especially
Okay.
when you are talking about finance as a whole. You're not focused on one particular aspect of finance. You're not talking about maybe investments. You're not talking about FP&A. You're not talking about finance operations. You're not talking about data visualization. You're talking about finance as a whole. And when you understand that you need to be open-minded, then you realize how much you are going to learn and how much you are going to expand your wings to be able to
Yeah.
fly, grow. So I
Yeah.
would say it's very important. I would always advise everyone that wants to delve into finance to be open-minded, be
Open. Yeah.
be willing to take on tasks, to take on roles, and even though it's not something you are used to, be willing to just try. Because if you do not try, you don't know if you are actually really really good at that particular responsibility or task. And I'll give
Yeah.
an example of my career. Before I fully moved into finance, I was still going back and forth between finance and accounting, and I wasn't really sure which one to focus on. But as time went on, I realized that I just loved to analyze data and to make sure
Yeah.
it's in a visual, it's a very visually nice. It's looking visually
Yeah.
nice, very comprehensive. And as I realized that, oh, I'm good at this thing, it's triggered me to try more and to
Yeah.
focus on finance. And that was how I left accounting to do finance. So I would
Okay.
say be open-minded, be willing to learn, be willing to try new things, be willing to also make sure you are consistently, not just you have the fire now and it just quenches the next day or the next month. Be
Yeah.
consistently looking for ways to grow, be consistently looking for new things to learn, and always apply the things that you learn. If you're in a company right now where you are in accounting and you want to transition to finance, I know there are so many people right might be in that on that table, so to say. So if you are
Yeah.
trying to transition to finance from accounting, then you should be willing to talk with the finance professionals in your company or in your circle. Speak with them, ask them what they do, ask them what they love doing as a finance professional. And you can also learn from them. You can also just try and give yourself things to do, even if it's not your company that's giving you those roles or those tasks.
Yeah.
You can go online and look for lessons to take. You can go and look for raw data to analyze
Yeah.
and to also improve your skill. So that's my advice for everyone that wants to go into finance. Be open to ask questions. If there's something that you don't know or you don't understand,
Yeah.
don't be afraid to ask
Yeah.
questions. Nobody is an island. Nobody is an island of knowledge. So ask
Yeah.
questions
Definitely.
and ask questions and make sure that you get as much information as you need in order to scale in your career. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Tare. Thank you. I mean, it's been a very, very insightful session. I'm sure for those who are looking to go into finance, who are saying, should I not? Which one should I do? Should I do accounting or finance? Now you have clarity. Go with this clarity. Let me talk like a pastor. Go with this clarity.
Exactly.
All right. Once again, I want to say thank you for taking our time to be part of the session.
Thank you. Thank
It's
you.
pretty much an honor to have you on my YouTube channel. And for everyone who had listened, for everyone who had learned one or two things, for everyone who comes across this video, Please do well to subscribe if you haven't subscribed to this channel. And do not forget to like this video as well. We are promising to bring you more content. Yeah, that's the symbol, thumbs up. We're promising to give you content that will help you, especially in your career. So we want to focus on career in this channel, and as much as possible help you. And we're trying as much as possible to also touch across different kinds of career. So we're not focusing on just one particular career, which is the reason why we have Tari on board. Last time we had a general session about how to scale through interviews, and today we have Tari on board to talk about finance. So tomorrow we can be talking about your own career. You want to watch the channel, you want to follow the channel so that you can get notified when we have such content up there. So please do not forget to also share. If you have somebody who studied accounting or finance in school and the person is looking to start their career and need guidance, this video is going to help. I can assure you. I mean, I listened to Tare very well, and I see that most of the things he had said are just what you need to hear, especially when you're starting out your career. And even if you started your career, for you to grow and advance in your career, you need some of those tips that you have shared today. So thank you so much, guys. And Tara, once again, thank you. It's such a pleasure to have you. All right,
Thank you.
guys. At this point, I say goodbye and goodbye, Tara. Thank you. Bye.